Coming up on this edition of Carolina Insider, a breakthrough in Columbia's affordable housing crisis. Stay tuned as we uncover a new initiative aimed at tackling the pressuring issue of housing affordability in the city. Ahead, South Carolina's gender reassignment bill sparks intense controversy. Join us for a closer look at the proposed legislation, exploring its potential impact on transgender youth and the different viewpoints at play.
Kids lack the ability to foresee the unintended consequences of this type of procedure.
But first, South Carolina's DEI funding bill, the game changer for diversity and inclusion. Carolina Insider starts now.
Hello, and thank you for joining us. I'm Jasmine Creech. Our top story today, South Carolina is among a slew of red states targeting diversity on college campuses. If passed, House Bill 4289 would halt DEI training for staff and limit diversity statements in admission and job ads. It would also require schools to submit an annual report on diversity and equity and inclusion programs. The bill only targets public colleges and universities in the state, including USC. The House Education and Public Works Committee finished its bill on the bill last week and now is up for debate on the House floor. But the clock is ticking. Lawmakers only have 6 more weeks to pass the bill or it will die for this legislation's session. That's not the only bill making waves in South Carolina. Reporter Bill Fry explains that one for us.
The South Carolina State House is back in session, and with that comes new discussions over legislation. A bill that was reintroduced to the House floor aims to redefine gender, sex, and other terms. H 4624, nicknamed the Help Not Harm Bill, is an attempt to regulate gender reassignment procedures for minors. Democratic Senate Minority Leader Brad Hutto says he is opposed to the bill.
A parent who has lived with a child their entire life probably knows best. And if they're seeking out the assistance of qualified healthcare professionals, they should be entitled to rely on the advice that those professionals give them.
The bill also requires public school staff to face penalties for withholding a minor's perception of their gender from their parents. Mama Rabbit's Nibbles and Sips, a local business located in Lexington, catered sweets, salad, and other foods at their monthly Freedom Friday event. The gathering let people meet conservative politicians and listen to a Freedom Caucus panel.
Yeah, so the Freedom Caucus filed a very similar piece of legislation to this over 13 months ago. Sadly, that bill sat in committee where it remains today.
Controversy around this bill comes from concern over government overreach.
Putting people in between doctors and patients is not something that the state should be prioritizing.
And from concerns over decision-making for children.
Kids lack the ability to foresee the unintended consequences of this type of procedure.
Further debate is expected to continue at the State House. For Carolina Insider, I'm Bill Fry.
Governor Henry McMaster is pledging his support in the wake of this week's bridge collapse in Baltimore. McMaster released a statement saying South Carolina is ready to help Maryland however it can and is praying for the victims. On Tuesday, a container ship lost power and collided with the Francis Scott Key Bridge, causing it to snap and plunge into the waters below. The search continues for victims who may have fallen in, but everyone on the ship survived. Back here in Columbia, more affordable housing developments are coming to town. It's all part of a master plan by the Columbia Housing Authority. Here with more on this is Justin Mitchell. Justin?
Thanks, Jasmine. Like many cities across America, finding affordable housing is a challenge for many people in this economy. The Oaks at St. Anna's Park off of Forest Drive is one of 8 developments that are part of Columbia Housing Authority's Vision 2030 plan. They're working alongside partners to develop new properties and build replacements for the ones that have been torn down. This particular location was once home to one of Columbia's oldest affordable housing complexes, Gonzales Gardens, which was demolished back in 2017. And according to Columbia housing officials, the Vision 2030 plan called for construction at the Oaks at St. Anna's Park to be complete by the end of 2023, but was delayed due to funding.
We rely heavily on those federal resources we receive from the government, federal government, from HUD specifically. And HUD has not funded us at the level in which we were funded 30 years ago.
Despite a decrease in funding, Columbia housing officials say they've turned to strategic partnerships with developers and resources, including low-income FHA financing and essential function bonds. As for the Oaks at St. Anna's Park, the community will include a total of 190 2- and 3-bedroom townhomes for families and 95 senior units. Some families have already moved into the complex. Construction is set to be complete by July of this year. Back to you, Jasmine.
Thanks, Justin. Finally, looking for something to do this weekend? We've got you covered. Tomorrow, the women's basketball Sweet 16 party is happening at Russell House. Hidden City Music Festival is this Saturday at Columbia Speedway from 1:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. And this Sunday is the Cracking Up Comedy Brunch Easter edition at the Hideout. Starts at 1 p.m. That's it for this edition of Carolina Insider, a student production here in the Kennedy Greenhouse studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here next week.